My name is Dave Broom. I'm the coordinator of the Local Clean Energy Alliance, an alliance of 46 nonprofit organizations and local businesses that are pushing for more renewable energy and energy efficiency in the East Bay. Our main priorities for 2009 are working on climate action plans and making sure that they're strong energy financing districts so that people can get loans that are paid off over time on their property tax bills to pay for energy efficiency retrofits and solar. The third priority is labor and community-driven energy purchasing program. And one of the main ways that we're thinking about that is with community choice energy, and another one that would fit that would be feed-in tariffs. And then the fourth thing is stopping dirty power plants. Now tonight we have a number of different things happening. First, Aaron and I are going to talk about our work on the Oakland Climate Action Coalition. Then Chris Worthington, City Councilor from Berkeley, is going to come talk about the counter campaign against PG&E's power grab. And then after that, Ellen Choi and Ananda Lee Tan are going to be talking about the local actions that are going to be going along with the Copenhagen, in the lead up to the Copenhagen climate talks. They're going to talk about how those relate to what's going on in Copenhagen and also the federal energy policy discussions. So I'm going to turn it over to Aaron.
So many of you are already fairly familiar with what's going on in Oakland, but for those of you who are not, and for those of you who think you are, there's actually a lot more going on than you perhaps realize. So Dave and I are just going to give a brief overview of some of the things that are going on, what the city's up to. As you know, Oakland is moving forward on its Energy and Climate Action Plan, which, thanks to the Alliance and thanks to the work of the Oakland Climate Action Coalition, is going to be shooting for a 36% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions below 2005 levels over the next 10 years. So it's like one of the strongest goals, at least in the Bay Area, but perhaps even in the nation. And so that's the kind of the goals under which a lot of these policies and strategies that the City of Oakland is going to be undertaking are going to be operating. And we know that we're going to have increasing fire risks. We're going to have increasing sea level rise. We're going to have challenges with drought, meeting our water needs as a city and as a region. So this opportunity that we have before ourselves with the Energy and Climate Action Plan in Oakland is an opportunity for us to really invest in that alternative energy infrastructure, in green jobs for our communities. And also, a key point of the Oakland Climate Action Coalition is to make sure that we're reducing pollution in those areas, especially low-income neighborhoods throughout Oakland, East Oakland, and West Oakland in particular, that have been suffering disproportionately from the co-pollutants that greenhouse gas emissions often produce. So, with that, I will pass it on to Dave to talk a little bit more about what the actual coalition is up to and what the goals of the ECAF are, and so forth.
All right. Well, I'm going to first start out by talking about what the city is doing about climate change. And just note that cities across the United States are now doing climate action. And they're all at different phases, but it generally means that they're going through a process where they're trying to understand how many emissions they have and then what they can do about those emissions. So this is something that's happening in many places. Oakland is pretty far along in the process because it's not many cities that are on the verge of actually doing a climate action plan. Oakland is actually calling this process the Energy and Climate Action Plan, or ECAP. And we started it, Oakland started this in November 2008. In June 2009, Oakland, actually, the preliminary decision was in June, but then in July 2009, Oakland set very aggressive goals for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. The goals that they have agreed to, at least on a preliminary base, to to try to attain are 36% below 2005 levels by 2020. And that equates to reducing greenhouse gas emissions about 4% per year until 2020. Now, the city is in the process of identifying its policy priorities and specific policy actions that it can move forward to City Council. So this is going to be an ongoing process for the next, I'd say, almost a year or so. We can't necessarily expect anything concrete to happen in terms of actual decisions made by City Council until around this time next year. But there's going to be many steps along the process. One of the main players in terms of actually working with the cities to engage in this energy and climate action process is the Oakland Climate Action Coalition. The Oakland Climate Action Coalition is a cross-sector coalition that includes community-based organizations, nonprofit organizations, especially a number of those that have expertise in the different aspects of the industries that would be actually emitting a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. Labor's involved, so we have unions, and we also have green businesses involved with this coalition. So it's cross-sectional. We think that that's a really important way to go, especially given that it's going to need strong support to push these types of actions through. It's not a trivial matter. The Oakland Climate Action Coalition meets twice monthly. One of the meetings is a general meeting, and so all the coalition members are invited to come. And then there's a second meeting, that's the steering committee meeting, that really sets the direction of the coalition.
The Local Clean Energy Alliance is on the steering.
Yes, the Local Clean Energy Alliance is on the steering committee of the Oakland Climate Action Coalition.
It is the second Thursday of each month that the general meeting is held.
Yep. The 6 policy areas that we're looking at.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, there's 6 areas. 5 are really policy areas, but we'll just go through all 6 of them. Transportation and land use. So we're trying to understand what policies will make public transit more accessible, more efficient. How can we get people out of cars? How can we levy impact fees that are associated with how land is used in Oakland that can be used further to help improve our public transit system and do other things that would reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Building energy use. How can we reduce the amount of energy that fossil fuel energy that causes greenhouse gas emissions that are used by our homes, businesses, and municipal buildings? Consumption and solid waste. So how can we improve waste, reduce the amount of waste that's produced in the first place, improve our recycling and our reuse as well as conservation of our resources. The 4th area is food, water, and urban agriculture. This is all about localization of our food sources. How can we get more healthy, organic, and local food on the plates of Oaklanders? But we're also very concerned with reducing the amount of water that's used and making sure that we're getting efforts within the city to plant trees.